If you've ever wished you could be like Thorfinn, the main character from Vinland Saga, you're in the right place. I mean, so does every other Vinland Saga enjoyer. But what will make you different from all the other people adopting the term "I have no enemies" as their new mantra? I mean, even I think it'd be nice to have no enemies. But is being like Thorfinn really the key to a happy and fulfilling life? In this video, we'll explore the complexities of Thorfinn's character and try to answer that very question. Now, this won't be a complete recap of Vinland Saga, but just highlighting important events that pertain to Thorfinn's character, from his traumatic childhood to his relentless pursuit of revenge. There's a lot more to Thorfinn than meets the eye. The story of Thorfinn from Vinland Saga is a tale of tragedy, revenge, and redemption. His journey from a young, naive boy to a hardened warrior is filled with bloodshed and heartbreak, but also moments of compassion. Thorfinn was born into a Viking family of warriors and grew up idolizing his father, Thors. Thors was a legendary warrior who had retired from a life of raiding and fighting and settled down to raise his family. Father. He instilled in Thorfinn a sense of horror and compassion that would shape his character for years to come. But when Thors is forced to fight again, Thorfinn witnesses the death of his father at the hands of the mercenary Askeladd. After Askeladd so clearly cheated, driven by a desire for revenge, Thorfinn swears to kill Askeladd and spends the next several years working as a mercenary for him. After all that, enter Thorfinn Revenge Arc. Thorfinn joins Askeladd's band of mercenaries and works as a slave. He bides his time, waiting for an opportunity to kill Askeladd. However, Askeladd is a cunning warrior, and Thorfinn's attempts to kill him fail. Askeladd recognizes Thorfinn's skill and decides to make him part of his plan to claim the English crown. Thorfinn reluctantly agrees, hoping that it will bring him closer to his goal of revenge. Askeladd takes him to England, where they face off against the English army. Thorfinn's fighting skills are put to the test, and he emerges a formidable warrior. At this stage in Thorfinn's journey, I want to start listing some pros and cons to Thorfinn's character. This is so that we can come to a conclusion at the end of the video to determine whether or not you should be like Thorfinn. Although Thorfinn's determination is admirable, we all have pros and cons. To start, Thorfinn's character exhibits immense courage and determination. He never backs down from a challenge, no matter how difficult it may be. So you, as a person facing your own challenges with the same level of bravery and perseverance as Thorfinn had, would be something you would have to consider. But a notable con so far is that Thorfinn's motivations for his actions is revenge, and he engages in a lot of violent behavior throughout the series. While his journey eventually leads him away from this mindset, his early actions may not make him the best role model. In episode 8, we see Thorfinn's character development take center stage. This episode explores his internal struggles, desires, and the shaping of his worldview. After Thorfinn's help in the Battle of Wales, he was rewarded with a duel with Askeladd, but loses once again. Thorfinn's repeated defeat at the hands of Askeladd highlights his impulsive and reckless nature. Askeladd manipulates Thorfinn's emotions to exploit his weakness in combat, emphasizing Thorfinn's need to mature emotionally and gain control over his anger. The conversation between Thorfinn and Hordland plays a crucial role in his character development. Thorfinn's declaration of being a free warrior despite being in service of Askeladd reflects his determination to maintain his autonomy and identity. This interaction also exposes Thorfinn's desire for freedom, as he shares his dreams of killing Yorm and escaping. It demonstrates his longing for a life beyond the confines of servitude and violence. Moreover, Thorfinn's narration about Vinland reveals his yearning for a peaceful and idyllic land, where he believes true freedom can be found. In episode 14, Thorfinn's character development takes a significant turn, showcasing the darker aspects of his journey. The episode begins with Thorfinn and his companions enduring the harsh cold of the climate as they try to invade Thorkill, who is still pursuing them. However, the pivotal moment in this episode occurs when they stumble upon a village inhabited by Christians. In a shocking turn of events, Askeladd and his men engage in ruthless pillaging and murder, sparing no one, including women and children. This brutal act is carried out to protect their seekers from being exposed. The village is left devastated and the innocent victims are burned in a mass grave. This episode's importance to Thorfinn's character development lies in the stark contrast between his desire for freedom and his participation in the brutal acts committed by Askeladd and his men. Thorfinn witnesses the devastating consequences of violence and darkness that can consume those who embrace it. This encounter forces Thorfinn to confront the harsh realities of his choices and the consequences they bring. It becomes a pivotal moment for him to reflect on the path he has chosen and question whether revenge is truly the path to freedom he seeks. In episodes 17 and 18, Thorfinn's character development takes significant strides as he confronts his past, grapples his emotions, and faces challenging situations. In episode 17, Thorfinn learns about Askeladd's background and his deep-seated hatred for the Danish. Askeladd's story resonates with Thorfinn as it reflects his own desire for freedom and a better future. When Thorfinn witnesses Askeladd killing Danish soldiers, it sparks a realization in him about the cycle of violence and revenge he has been perpetrating. After this, Thorfinn's group is pursued by Thorkill's warriors, and Askeladd confronts his former Viking band while Thorfinn, Canute, and the priest are chased. In a moment of sacrifice and bravery, Thorfinn decides to return and defend Askeladd. Despite their conflicted relationship, Askeladd fights violently, but is ultimately overwhelmed by arrows. Thorkill arrives presenting Thorfinn with a choice: die or fight like a warrior. In episode 18, the conflict resumes as Thorfinn engages in a duel with Thorkill. This encounter once again tests Thorfinn's courage and determination. While it may not be his wisest plan of action, it showcases Thorfinn's growth and willingness to face formidable opponents. Simultaneously, Canute, one of my favorite characters of the show, experiences his own character development. He reflects on his relationship with Ragnar and the nature of love and discrimination. This introspection leads Canute to embrace his true self and face the challenges before him. As Thorfinn and Canute navigate their respective trials, their character growth intertwines. They both confront their past beliefs, which in turn can change someone's perspectives, and reevaluate their motivations and begin to question the paths they have chosen. These episodes are pivotal for Thorfinn's character development as they showcase his growing awareness of the consequences of his actions and his willingness to confront the cycle of violence that has consumed him. They lay the foundation for Thorfinn's transformation as he seeks a more meaningful purpose beyond revenge and begins to grasp the importance of forgiveness, understanding, and forging his own path. So far, there have been a couple of developments in his character growth that can be noted in the pros and cons sheet. For one, as a con, Thorfinn's actions and choices are not always morally clear and cut. He engages in mercenary work and raiding, which may not align with everyone's values. Some viewers may find his actions questionable or objectionable. But as a pro, Thorfinn undergoes a significant journey of self-discovery throughout the series. He learns to question his values and beliefs and ultimately finds a new purpose. So in order to be like Thorfinn, you would have to reflect on your own core values and beliefs and improve yourself accordingly. So far, it seems like the formula to being like Thorfinn is trauma. So if your dad left you or you endured any form of abuse, you're in the right place. Thorfinn has endured a lot, so it would only make sense that he would grow and develop from there, as so can you. Or in other words, if you've hit rock bottom, the only direction you can go is up. But in Thorfinn's case, his rock bottom is being a slave to the man who killed his father. Askeladd didn't just physically enslave him, he mentally enslaved him. He imprisoned him in a cycle of revenge. That's why I think Thorfinn's character growth is one of the most exciting parts of the series. Moving on to episode 21, Thorfinn reaches a pivotal point as he confronts various challenges and grapples with his thirst for revenge. This episode begins with an assassination attempt on Canute in the town of Northumbria. Thorfinn tracks down and kills the would-be assassin, but his attention is caught by a familiar face, Leif Erikson, who tries to persuade Thorfinn to return home. However, Thorfinn remains steadfast in his pursuit of revenge, showing his unwavering determination. Meanwhile, it is revealed that the person hit by the arrow was a slave woman dressed as Canute, a ploy orchestrated by Canute. As they continue their journey, Askeladd spreads rumors of enemies targeting Canute's life, creating a tense and unpredictable atmosphere. However, the focus of the episode shifts to Thorfinn's desire for another duel with Askeladd. Surprisingly, Bjorn intervenes and demands a duel with Askeladd himself. As he is on the brink of death, Askeladd accepts the challenge and kills Bjorn, who is his only true friend. Despite witnessing Bjorn's death, Thorfinn remains determined to get a fight with Askeladd. This desire represents Thorfinn's unwavering commitment to seek revenge, even at the cost of losing meaningful connections and enduring further loss. At this point, Thorfinn will give up anything for revenge. I mean, it seems like this whole video I've just been talking about how Thorfinn wants his get back. But when you break down the whole season like this, it really does seem like that was just the sole point of his character. You only get some sort of resolution towards the end of the season, most notably the last episode of the season. Episode 24 begins with Askeladd being rewarded by King Sweyn for his efforts. Askeladd seizes the opportunity to discuss the king's orders to deal with Wales, attempting to convince Sweyn to pursue peace instead due to the country's poverty. In response, Sweyn presents Askeladd with a choice: either carry out in hunting whales or kill Canute himself. Meanwhile, Leif Erikson attempts to convince Thorfinn to return home. Askeladd then denounces Sweyn, revealing his true identity as Lucius Artorius Cassius, or Castus, I think it's Castus, the heir to Britannia. Shockingly, Askeladd beheads Sweyn, protecting Canute and providing him with an opportunity to step forward and become a true leader. In a twist of events, Thorfinn witnesses Canute slaying Askeladd, sending him into a state of fury. However, he is subdued and dragged away, unable to exact his revenge, which was just tough. Imagine going your whole life trying to get revenge on somebody just for that to be taken away. Then the dude you've been trying to kill tells you to chill and go find something else to do. And I would tell you what he did with that information in season 2, but the whole season is just him being a nonchalant slave. I mean, it was that cool episode where he goes through his past and talks to Askeladd about how he's a terrible person for killing all those people, but I mean, we already knew that. In season 2, you can kind of see he just becomes more like his father, stoic in nature and wanting to live a fairly peaceful life. But one difference is Thors was just satisfied with living peacefully with his family, and on the other hand, Thorfinn has this revolution to rid the world of violence. So I guess in the end, if you want to be like Thorfinn, just look at Thors. And who wouldn't want to be like Thors? He's a wise, stoic man with family values who doesn't let his enemies get the best of him. And personally, I think that's a great person to look up to. Alright, I know this was a lackluster kind of video. Or not, straightforward. I've kind of been working on it like over the past couple of months, so it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, if you want like a part 2 or like a season 2, then I guess let me know. And if not, let me know what you thought about this. I know I'm kind of a beginner at this, but there will be better videos in the future. So, thanks.